This is Canon 200d or SL2 and this is one of the lightest, affordable and one of the best budget cameras you can get in 2019 and in 2020. And we are going to do a complete review of this DSLR camera. Hi, this is Revan from Revan Media and in this video I have a Canon 200d camera to review. Before that, if you are new to my channel, then don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the little bell notification button. That way you will not be missing out on any major updates and upcoming videos that we post every week. If you have done that, let's start this video. This camera is called the Canon Rebel SL2 in the US and outside the US it is called the Canon 200d. Without a doubt, this is one of the best budget camera for making YouTube videos. The features and functions of this camera suits best for YouTube content creators, that too especially for vloggers. If you are doing a vlogging, be it on a YouTube or just for fun, then the features of the DSLR camera are definitely going to impress you. This camera was introduced in 2017 and once this camera was released, everybody was surprised by looking at the features of this camera compared to its price range. Canon introduced EOS 100D in March 2013 and after 4 years of this launch, Canon quickly released the Canon 200D in 2017. As soon as this camera was launched, it was loved by YouTube content creators. Over the years, it has become one of the best budget DSLR cameras from Canon. Let's quickly look at some of the key highlights of this camera. The Canon 200D or SL2 weighs just under 453 grams, makes it very lightweight and easy to carry around for a longer time. The lightweight cameras are quite comfortable to hold in hands for a longer amount of time. It is amazing to see Canon was able to crush in lots of features and functionalities onto this small DSLR camera. One of the key highlights of Canon 200D DSLR camera is its amazing autofocus mode, which tracks the object perfectly compared to any other DSLR cameras with this price range. There are only two brands which makes the best autofocus on these cameras. One is Canon and the other one is Sony. Canon uses something called the dual pixel autofocus system technology in its latest cameras. Because of this technology, Canon cameras have improved dramatically in autofocus systems. It is nice to see Canon has added this technology in its budget DSLR cameras as well. If you talk about the sensors, this camera uses 24.2 megapixels of APS-C CMOS crop sensor with Digic 7 processor, which is the same processor used in the Canon 77D and Canon 800D cameras. This camera can shoot full HD videos up to 60 frames per second with NTSC mode and 50 frames per second with PAL mode. If you live in India, then you have to use the PAL video mode because electricity supplied in India is normally 50 Hz. In the US and the other countries, normally the electricity supply is 60 Hz. If you use NTSC mode for India, in the indoor video shooting, then you will get a distraction line when you are shooting a video. The other key highlight of this camera is its fully articulated LCD touchscreen, which can be rotated both the sides. The features is quite useful for vloggers. The interesting fact of this flip-out screen is all the settings can be controlled through the touchscreen with this LCD display. If you look at the other budget cameras, even if you get a LCD display, it won't be a fully touch screen. Only the major settings can be changed through that. But in Canon 200D, you will get a full touchscreen display. That means all the settings can be controlled through the touchscreens without even touching any of the camera buttons. Now, let's dive in deeply to understand each of these features. First, talk about the design and the build quality. It is amazing to see Canon has put a lot of effort into making this camera and it reflects in its design and build quality. The overall size of the Canon 200D camera is quite small compared to their other models like Canon 80D or Canon 750D. The overall weight along with the 80 to 55 mm kit lens, it weighs just under 1 kg. Can you believe it? And it is not even a mirrorless camera. If you take just a body for consideration, it weighs just 453 grams, which is slightly heavier than the latest mirrorless camera that Canon has introduced recently, the Canon M50, which weighs pretty close to 400 grams. The entire body of the camera covered with plastic material and it has given a nice matte finish and it looks great on black color. Other than the black, you have a silver, white color options available to choose from this camera. Let's talk about the camera controls. If you look at Canon 200D, it has a fewer buttons compared to their other models. Of course, you need to pay a higher price if you want all those buttons and easier functions. In Canon 200D, all the major settings while shooting can be controlled through the Q button, which is located at the center. Other than this, you have a separate video recording button, the camera mode dial button on the top, the playback button, the shutter buttons, menu and info buttons on the left. And there are some couple of useful buttons which will be located on each side of the camera. All the necessary buttons are provided in this camera for easy access, but for a professional photographer, this is not a suitable camera to go for. This camera is designed for beginner photographers or videographers. Accordingly, Canon has designed these buttons on this camera. Now, let's talk about the connectivity. When it comes to connectivity, again this Canon 200D has nailed it. With this camera, you will get a Wi-Fi, Bluetooth and NFC connectivity options. If you want to share your photos on social media immediately after taking a picture from camera, you can use these connectivity options like Wi-Fi or NFC to wirelessly connect your DSLR camera to your phone so that you can transfer all of your photos to your smartphone instantly. To connect your camera with your smartphone through Wi-Fi, you have to install the Canon Camera Connect app. After that, you will be able to transfer your photos to your smartphone instantly. The Canon 200D provides external microphone jack. This will help to record quality sound using the external microphones. Normally with all the DSLR cameras, the inbuilt microphones are not that good and always produces noise while recording a video. So having an additional external microphone jack is always useful. So having additional microphone jack is very important in any DSLR cameras. The microphone jack is located on the left side of the camera. So if you install an external microphone, then the head of this microphone jack will block the LCD screen. It won't block completely, but some part of the screen is blocked with the microphone jack. Other than that, you will get an external mic input, USB and the HDMI port. So now let's talk about the autofocus on this camera. If you ask what is the one thing that excites the most on this Canon 200D, then I will say it's autofocus of this camera. The autofocus on this camera is quite brilliant and impressive. If your camera is in autofocus mode, it tracks the object precisely. Once the focus is locked onto the subject, it detects the autofocus point, and even if you move the object, it can able to track so comfortably. Thanks to Canon for new technology which is dual pixel autofocus system. Canon has introduced this technology a few years back, and after introducing this technology, Canon's autofocus quality has improved drastically. Canon has used the same technology with Canon 200D camera as well, even if you can see this technology with new Canon models as well. When it comes to video, the autofocus is very important in camera so that the camera won't struggle to get a focus point. This thing is sure lacking with the Nikon and Panasonic cameras, where most of the time those cameras will struggle to get focus on video mode, and you can see a focus hunting from cameras. Nothing is worse after completing a video, you will see a camera struggle with focusing on the object, but it won't happen in Canon 200D, thanks to its great technology, the dual pixel autofocus system. The Canon 200D comes with a total of 9 autofocus points, which is less than Canon 80D or Canon 800D. But those cameras will cost way more than this camera. Of course, those cameras will give better features and functionality than this camera. Now, let's talk about the processor and performance. The Canon 200D uses the APS-C CMOS crop sensor and Digic 7 processor, which is the same processor used in the Canon EOS 77D and the Canon 800D. With this processor, you will get an excellent image quality. This camera can shoot 6 frames per second photos. That means with a single click, it can shoot up to 6 frames in 1 second. This will help to shoot a moving object, or if you are doing a sports photo shoot where the object is constantly moving, then 6 frames per second will help to catch a proper photo that you are looking for. This camera will give the ISO range from 100 to 25,600, which can expandable up to 51,200 with photo mode. In video mode, you will get an ISO of 100 to 12,500. The real question is how the camera performs in low light conditions. Well, the answer is not too good but not too bad. It is somewhere in the middle range. We have captured some of the photos to test the image quality in low light condition, and this is the result we get from this camera. The image quality looks good till 1600 ISO range, and after reaching ISO 3200, you will start to notice some noise on the dark areas, and it is clearly visible if you shoot an image beyond ISO 3200. Then you will get a very bad noise on this image. So what about in the video mode? In video mode, the quality looks good till ISO 800, and after gone past 800 like 1600 or 3200, you will start to get noise on these videos. Higher the ISO, the more noise you will get in the image. But this camera performs pretty decently in low light conditions. Not that bad performance compared to the price range and the other features of this camera has to offer. Now let's talk about the articulated touchscreen. The Canon 200D comes with a fully articulated LCD screen which is fully controlled through the touch of a finger. The good thing about this rotatable LCD screen is all the settings can be controlled with the touchscreen. Most of the budget cameras even offer a touchscreen display. You won't get a fully touchscreen on all the options. Only the major settings can be controlled through the touchscreen. But in Canon 200D, you almost get the same feeling as you're using a smartphone. If you are into vlogging, then you definitely love this feature. For vlogging, camera needs to be lightweight and you have to see yourself in the display so that you can make sure you are not going out of frame. Let's talk about the battery. This camera has LPE17 battery which has the capacity to shoot 600 photos on a single charge. Still, the battery on this is too small and the battery life is not good compared to their other cameras. If you want to do a long video shoot, then you won't be able to do that with this camera. If you take this camera to an event photo shoot or a wedding video shoot, then you have to carry an additional battery along with you. So this is the complete overview and in-depth review of this Canon 200D DSLR camera. I have put the product link in the video description below just in case if you want to check the actual price or want to purchase this camera. If you want more information about this camera, you can check out our website, that is uselect.com. I have put the website link in the video description as well. You can check out that. So that's it for today's video. I hope you guys get the best information about this camera. If you do, then please let me know by clicking that thumbs up button. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell notification button to get the notification about our upcoming videos. So thanks for watching and I will see you in our next video.